Welcome back to Challenge Drew on episode 14. Keep the questions coming. Today I'm answering a question around, is it illegal to pen test without permission if you do no harm? That is an awesome question, and pen testing is my favorite thing to do. First and foremost, it is 100% illegal to pen test the system without written approval or written consent from the people that are requesting the actual testing to be carried out, right? Now, we all probably have done things that are unethical or illegal, but we'll keep that for another video. The first video is around, is it illegal to pen test the system without permission? 150% absolutely yes. You're not getting explicit access or permission to actually test given IP address or given domain systems or given vulnerabilities that we find. So it is 100% illegal to test the system. Now, that doesn't mean that you can go out and do what you want, but yes, it is illegal. So oftentimes when we do a penetration test, we usually get a scope of IP addresses or services that will need to be tested. We get approval from domains and domain systems and the owner and who owns the data, if it's a service provider or if it's a software application or whatever the case may be. So there's written approval that needs to be obtained before we actually go ahead and legally test the system or test the network or test the application. It is illegal, again, to go ahead and do the testing without written approval or written consent to actually do that. So I hope that answers your question. It's pretty short and sharp, but in most cases we get a report of, you do a vulnerability assessment, we identify what's vulnerable, what's running in the system, whether it's a network or an application or a user or whatever, and then we start actively trying to exploit those vulnerabilities with our pen test, right? So once we've found what's vulnerable, then we start actively exploiting those vulnerabilities. Now, that's the benefit of the pen test, is to identify what's critical, identify, is that important to the business, how do we rectify it, what do we need to do based on your risk assessment. So it is our job to sit there and pen test. Given those vulnerabilities, we then do our pen test. So we need written approval, we get a scope of service, that what are the rules behind this, what do we need to do, what are the IP addresses, and so on and so forth. So I hope that's answered your question. Keep them coming. Love to hear any other thoughts and feedback around, is pen testing legal if we do have, if we do no harm, essentially, right? So do let me know. Use the hashtag ChallengeDrew, and we'll see you guys next week.